And so this morning, of course, we're looking into the future of politics. So many things said over and over and over again. But a very good friend of mine, Saitabao Ole Kanchory, is here this morning. Good morning, Saitabao.
Good morning, Du.
Hey, Saitabao.
It's been a minute.
Why?
It's been a long time.
How are you doing?
Fantastic. I'm good.
You've been hiding somewhere, but we've been seeing you. We've been seeing you because you've not been able to be quiet about what you feel about certain things.
Correct.
So let's have that conversation, and we'll do that today. But to welcome you properly, because you've been away for so long, Dennis is going to give you today's proverb. We'd love to hear your interpretation of it.
Hi, Dennis.
Fitan, how are you?
Niko poa.
Last I saw you, ilikuwa ni hapa ni crime scene. But good to see you.
Still a crime scene. The crime scene just expanded.
All right. So our proverb today comes from the Yoruba people from Nigeria. Yeah?
Okay.
And it says, where you sit when you are old reveals where you stood when you were young.
Wow. Where you sit when you're old reveals where you stood
when you were young.
Wow, fantastic. That is an interesting one. You know, the way I see it, like every proverb, it can be open to different interpretations.
Yes.
It can be amenable to many interpretations as well. But I would give it three and quick ones. One is that the things you do in life when you're young determine the position or where you'll end up. Okay, so I think that is a simpler interpretation. The slightly deeper interpretation is that your legacy is created over time. Your legacy as a person is cumulative, is created over time. But here is the one that I think is the most important when I listen to that kind of proverb. That proverb is talking about being principled. Being principled. That we should not be changing our positions all the time. The things that we did when we were young are the same ones that we should be standing with when we are older. So I think it is a call to being principled, for people to be principled and to remain steadfast in their stand.
Right.
You know, I hear you speak and I remember this song by Jaguar. Mwana siasa,
Kigeugeu. Mara hii. Tomorrow you're saying another thing. So we can't really place you. Yeah. So I think, that's how I would look at it.
Yeah. It's interesting because since the demise of the late Honorable Raila Odinga, who you're very, very close to, not heard you speak publicly as would invite you to do so today. And so an opportunity for you to do that. But many may not know just how close you were with him. And a part of the party, a chief agent, the chief of all of them in the last election. And then now to see that a party which many would assume was going to take the reins and then move with things seems to have issues here and there. What is your overall thinking as compared to what you imagine Raila Odinga would have wanted in this particular dispensation politically?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, of course, the death of Raila Odinga came to us all as a big shock. It came unexpected. It came suddenly. It came in circumstances that a lot of people have questioned. And of course, it left all of us that much pained and that much at a loss. As those who were close to him, his family, especially his followers and supporters, and of course the nation and even the continent at large. We have lost, I have called Raila Odinga in my book the greatest Kenyan of all time. And I think he really was. It is very painful to even think about it, even now, that Raila Odinga is not here with us. Some of us, we are still in some kind of denial because we have not accepted even the explanation or the story. And a lot of Kenyans, you can see a lot of Kenyans are questioning what really happened. And but that said, it has happened. I believe that in the fullness of time, perhaps the whole story will come out. I personally have called for a public inquest into Raila Odinga's death because there are questions that still are lingering. Public inquests are provided in our law, and there are things that are done, just to not necessarily because there is an accusation of any kind, but just to clear the heir.
Closure.
I saw the other day that there is a public inquest into Ken Walibora's death.
Yeah.
5 years down the line. So perhaps in the fullness of time, we will publicly inquire as to what exactly happened. Because Raila Odinga was a very healthy man. I know him. He was a very healthy man. He was a very strong man. I have worked with him closely. I know, later I had people talk about this or the other, but the explanation that was given did not add up. Of course, everybody knows how close I was to Raila Odinga. I was his national chief agent in the last election.
Yeah.
And therefore, it also, as fate will have it, I am his last national chief agent. Raila Odinga has had only 5 chief agents in his life. In his long and illustrious political career, he has only had 5 chief agents, and I happen to be one of them. So that should tell you. He has had, of course, many supporters, many followers, but chief agents are not people that they're people who are singled out for certain qualities and certain values that the principal or the person who appoints sees in them. Because as a chief agent, I assumed the persona of Raila Odinga. For the days I was chief agent, I was basically Raila Odinga. Anywhere I was a representation of Raila Odinga. And for him to have trusted me to do that, he must have known that I stood for something, and I stood for something that he also stood for. So coming to where we are as a party, I think it's the jury is still out. The jury is still out. I have said in the past, I have said, and I will say it again and again, the true and real followers of Raila Odinga, as myself, never joined the broad-based government. Okay? So that is a starting point. Raila Odinga never joined the broad-based government himself. He made it clear that he donated experts.
Experts, yes.
He donated experts. So Raila Odinga did not join the broad-based government. I have heard people say that Raila left us in government. He did not. Raila left Mbadi, Wandai, Joho and Oparanya in government. But I can challenge you guys, Dennis, look for it. Look for any place where Raila Odinga has asked his supporters to join government. I want to challenge you. You will not find it, because he never did. He never asked his supporters to support William Ruto. He said, between now and we have decided to stabilize his unstable regime. And that is all he left it as. Okay? So, the truth is stubborn. Truth is stubborn. So a lot of things will be said here and there, but the truth does not change. In fact, if you listen to Raila Odinga in the initial stages of this broad-based thing, he wanted to disown it. When these guys were appointed the first time in, was it July last year, he actually disowned them.
Yeah.
He disowned them.
How so?
He disowned them. He said, he does not take responsibility for their appointment. And he even compared them to a girl who wants to get married so much that they elope into the marriage. That's how he compared them. So he was distancing himself. Because you see, Raila Odinga understood the politics of his country. And he understood how unpopular joining William Ruto was. And he did not want to take responsibility for the kind of backlash that he knew that would create.
Yet Kanchory, even as he understood that, Raila Odinga sat with William Ruto at KICC and signed that 10-point agenda and a broad-based government. And it is on the premise of that arrangement that many say Raila Odinga left us in government, because there is a document to show. There's a document that was appended. His signature is there together with his Secretary General. And one would say, based off that, then Raila understood that he was in government.
If you look at the 10-point agenda, Dennis, and if you look at that MOU, it was not a cooperation agreement. These are things that Raila Odinga and ODM were telling William Ruto to do. not things that they were going to do together. You know, I would want us to be very clear, because there's a lot of noise in this country, and sometimes the truth is, you know, it gets muddled and it gets lost in the noise. So the 10-point agenda, there is not one where ODM was supposed to do together with UDA.
Okay.
All these were demands. They were essentially demands that you implement NADCO, you reduce the cost of living, you compensate victims of your violence, right? You do this, you do this. There were demands that Raila Odinga was making. And you know, if you don't understand the mind of Raila Odinga, because he would not say certain things plainly, but he was an intelligent person, and he knew that he was talking to intelligent people. But now the problem with that is that it always leaves some gray areas. And in the nature of our politics is that sometimes you cannot come out very openly. Because you see, I will tell you, and I will prove it to you before the end of this show, because I know you like the truth. I know you're a truth seeker. Raila Odinga had a plan to make William Ruto a one-term president. I will prove it to you. Raila Odinga was going to run in 2027. And I will prove to you, if you have the time, it will take a short time actually, that Raila Odinga was implementing that plan. The 10-point agenda was one of that plan. And if you want to know that it was, why was it time barred? And why was it ending in terms of being implemented in 2026? Why not in 2027?
They needed a year?
Just a year, you know, because he knew if he ended it, because the things that he wanted William Ruto to do are things that possibly will require more time than 1 year. But he knew that if he gave him more than 1 year, he will not have time to wriggle out. Okay? So William Ruto had up to March 2026, according to that agreement, to do all those things, which he has not even accomplished one, and we're getting into 2026. He only has less than 4 months, in fact 3 months, if you don't count this month, to do all those 10 things, which are not easy to do. And it was Raila Odinga's way, you know, and you know I'm a straight shooter, and you know me, you have known me for a long time. I'm a straight shooter. And one of the things I do is that I like to say it as it is, so that whoever takes it, and whoever doesn't want to take it. You know, there's a saying that the farther a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. So sometimes when you're speaking the truth, it's not always very convenient or comfortable for everybody. But the truth has to be said nonetheless. So the 10-point agenda was a poison chalice that Raila Odinga was giving to William Ruto. He would have gotten out of it because William Ruto is not going to implement any of those. Yeah. And I will tell you something else. If you look at the composition of IEBC, 50% of IEBC commissioners today were appointed by Raila Odinga. 50%.
What does that mean, Saitabao?
So why would he have an interest of appointing 50% of commissioners of IEBC if he didn't have an interest in the election?
One would also interpret what you're saying in terms of Raila Odinga wanted to influence the results of the election.
No, he you know, results of elections are always influenced. I can tell you that. Results of elections, especially presidential elections, it would be a lie to say that they are not influenced, because they have been influenced, you know, all the whole time. They have always been influenced. So he knew that for you to run a credible and you know, successful presidential bid, you require IEBC, and he had his hand in IEBC. Why? Again, I've asked the question: why would he want to have control or a say in IEBC, the IEBC that will run the 2027 elections, if he had no interest in the election? You know, so it is very clear to me that Baba was going to make. He had a plan, and as his supporters, we need to understand that. You know, William Ruto has been an option for in this country for the last 3 elections. Okay? You know, sometimes in Kenya, we operate like we have just come to this country, like we are new in Jerusalem. We are strangers in Jerusalem. We are not. There have been 2 constants in the last election, in the last 3 elections. 2 constants. One of them is Baba Raila Odinga. He has been a constant in the last 3 elections, 2023, 2027, and 2022. The other constant in those 3 elections is William Ruto. Okay? So, and the ODM family and the Raila Odinga's real supporters have always rejected William Ruto in favor of Raila Odinga. Why is that so? The reason is simple. You see, those of us who supported Raila Odinga mostly supported him for what he stood for. Because Raila Odinga was 2 things. He was first an idea and an ideology. Okay? He was an idea and an ideology for fighting for the people, for the oppressed, articulating the issues of the people. And that is what was the allure of Raila Odinga to most of us. Okay? And most of the people who supported Raila Odinga, 90% I would say, supported him because of that. So the other part is Raila Odinga was also a man, and as a man, of course, he had his own maybe faults, he had his own weaknesses, whatever it is. But Raila Odinga, the idea was solid. It was an idea that you could, and that one lives on. It lives on even after Raila Odinga is gone. And the idea is to fight for the truth and for the people.
I hear what you're saying, Saitabao, and then I think about also that day in Bomas in 2022, where obviously you said, there's something going on here that is more than meets the eye. And I want to play that to what we saw with the by-elections that took place just a couple of weeks ago, to then what possibly could be issues within ODM, that there seem to be fissures within the party that would be the absolute opposites of what a former party leader would have wanted to be the case. Are there rats fleeing a sinking ship?
Are there rats fleeing the sinking ship? I don't think I would say they are fleeing. They never joined that sinking ship, most of them. Okay, most of the real supporters of Raila Odinga never joined this broad-based thing. Okay, and that is why you hear someone like Orengo saying, let us listen to the people. Why is Orengo saying, let us listen to the people? And he's repeating that so many times. It's because he knows the people are not in this thing. The people have never been in this thing. And the people will never be. You see, ODM, the party that I am still a life member of ODM, by the way. ODM is not just a political party. We need to distinguish between a party and a movement. ODM is a movement. So a political party is formed by politicians. No.
Yes.
Politicians form political parties, and then they welcome or entice people to join the vehicle called a party. A movement is formed by the people, and the politicians join it. That's the difference between ODM and these other outfits.
That it's a movement.
It's a movement. It is the people who formed it first, and the politicians merely joined. Now, movements don't die. As long as the issues for the people are alive, the movement will continue. And usually with a movement, if a politician departs from the movement, from the ideals of the movement soldiers on regardless.
The movement that you're talking about, that is ODM today, seems as if it is split in the middle, in terms of its leadership. So we have the likes of the young bloods, the Sifunas, the Pabuinos, and also Orengo in that camp was saying, this is what Baba said. And you have the other camp who say, we are in broad-based beyond 2027, And when you look at this movement and the following that each group brings on board, one asks the question, is this movement split in the middle? Is it a sinking ship?
Okay, that question, I will answer it very plainly and quickly. There are 2 groups in ODM right now. There are 2 groups. The one group has been aptly referred to as the parasites.
Okay.
Yeah. The parasites are the people who were sucking into even Raila Odinga. Okay? Those who were sucking into Raila Odinga was merely a host. And I will tell you this because you've talked about 2022. The parasites are the ones who cost Raila Odinga the election of 2022. They are the ones who cost Raila Odinga the election of 2022. They are also the ones who twisted Raila into this broad-based thing. The broad-based thing was not Raila Odinga's idea. It was the idea of the parasites. Okay? The parasites, fortunately, are very few. They are very few. By the way, you all know them because you can count them. And Dennis, you know them, and do you know them? The parasites are known, and they know themselves, and Kenyans know them. The parasites, they may be loud because they're overfed. You know, when parasites are overfed, they can be very loud.
They show up.
Baba used to say, kupe ananyonya, amenyonya ng'ombe alafu ananona. Now, those parasites, right now, they are very visible because they are full. They are full like that. But they are few, very few. The real supporters of ODM never went into that thing. They are still at the place where they are saying William Ruto is not an option for us because we have rejected him. All this time he was offering himself, we have been rejecting him. And many of them were even rejecting him more than they were rejecting Uhuru Kenyatta in the previous government. So they are asking, this is the person who we have always said is like this, like this, like this. Everything we have said about William Ruto, he has not changed. In fact, he has proved to us that we were right. So is there another William Ruto you have? Or you are going to bring us the same, is there another one? Do you have a new one? Because if you have a new one, we can consider. But if it's the same one, he's the one who used to say, iko mzee mwingine ama ni ile mzee akitendawili. Even us now we are asking, iko William Ruto ingine ama ni ile tu ya scandals and corruption. Today is International Anti-Corruption Day.
Yes, it is.
I mean, this country has become shocking with the level and intensity and frequency of corruption. It is the order of the day. Corruption has been there. But this is the only government that conducts corruption as a main business of government. Corruption used to be a side hustle for those other governments. But in this government, the running of the government is a side hustle, but corruption is the main business. You open the office in the morning, wapi yo tender, wapi yo. That is their main business. So is that the William Ruto we are going to support? The one who killed our children? The one who has admitted, in fact, when you say you're compensating people, you are admitting you're on the wrong. The one who has weakened our passport, that today if we go to some of these countries, it is in your headlines. Our passport has to be scrutinized twice because they're not sure. Who is this Kenyan? Is this Kenyan a possible terrorist? The one who has made has captured the state at the expense, has made his personal interest, has put his personal interest above the interest of the nation to the point where he will bring us possible terrorists to the country, to the point where we are hearing Sudan, crazy things that we never thought we would hear in this country. That is not the William Ruto we are going to support. And the problem with not being principled, if you say one thing today, another thing tomorrow. So these same people, the parasites, some of them are very loud telling us how William Ruto is all those things. They were right. But then the question we're asking them, now you're telling us William Ruto is good. Is it, when were you lying? Were you lying then?
Or now?
Or are you lying now? But definitely you are lying. At one point, you're not being honest. But we are not fools. They have said there's a shortage of fools in this country. So Kenyans will make the decisions that they need to make.
And yet, for those who follow, because the politics puts itself on a stage and the people of Kenya are the audience to see all of these things happening, to say, okay, in all of this, who's going to be the one that they will give an opportunity to then lead? Whether it is to retain the leadership that currently is there or to give it into the hands of somebody else. And so those are the questions that people ask. Is somebody going to make a break? Is this party going to disintegrate? Are the ones who are at the helm of leadership going to continue steering the ship? What's going to be the case? And people are looking for answers. Or are we doing that politics where it says, let's not really show you where the focus is because then we want to detract our enemies? I mean, what is it really? Is there a need to say that ODM is going to live to fight another day? Or are the propagandists who saying, no, this one is on its way out? Who's right here?
Yeah. So first of all, ODM is a national movement. It still has a lot of support in this country. I believe that if ODM fields a presidential candidate, he will be a formidable candidate. And the last words of Raila Odinga was, who told you that ODM will not have a candidate? Who told them? If these people who are saying now we are supporting, who told them that ODM cannot field a presidential candidate? So the first thing is the people who will decide whether ODM will live beyond 2027 or it will just because parties also can collapse. Again, being a movement, if it departs drastically from its core values, it will collapse. So in 2027, if ODM supports William Ruto, that will be the end of ODM. Because maybe 80 to 90% of the core of ODM will leave ODM. Regardless, the parasites can keep a few of their semi-parasites. Parasites also have a way of perpetuating their parasitic
nature
tendencies
on each other.
Yeah, so they can keep those ones. But the majority, because I talk, I have a network in this country of the core grassroots of ODM. I am possibly one of the only few people who can pick a phone right now and talk to someone in Hispania, and talk to someone in Lokichar, and talk to someone in Namanga, talk to someone in Lamu. I have all the contacts of the core people in ODM, and they call me many times. And even that time when Baba was, this dalliance, he started this dalliance with, people were calling me, what is going on? What is happening? This, can you people give us clear direction? And many of them are not happy with the way things are. And they will not go with ODM regardless of what direction it takes. They will only go with ODM if ODM retains its core principles. And the core principles of ODM are diametrically opposed to what William Ruto and his government stands for.
So it's a dicey situation where the country finds itself, and especially where ODM finds itself in, because you look at the top leadership of the party and everyone is speaking, everyone's speaking. But remember, like you said, the party ODM has never been about the leadership, it's about the people. Every other time whenever a decision needs to be made, it is the people who make the decisions. Even before Raila Odinga himself decided to sit down with William Ruto, he went across the country saying he was to listen to the people would advise him on the decisions that he would make. But as we sit here today, you say you can easily pick your phone and call people at the grassroots. The core members of ODM, leave alone the leadership of ODM, the core members of ODM, where do they sit when it comes to broad-based government and 2027 politics? Are they for or against, or will they make a decision for them at the time in terms of tutapiga kura na akili zetu?
Yeah. So the core, unfortunately, over time, because of certain factors, some of which I spoke about in my book, ODM has rewarded the wrong people. Okay, in terms of especially positions in the party. So it has rewarded betrayal. It has rewarded people who were being driven by personal interest as opposed to. So if you look at the core leadership of the party right now, I would say they're very self-interested people. They're people who are being driven by self-interest. So it is very possible and likely, and I expect that because there's politics, there's a type of politics that Baba used to call tumbocracy. Unfortunately for ODM, it drifted so much into that kind of politics, where it is no longer democracy but tumbocracy.
Yep.
And tumbocracy is very dangerous because in my culture, the Maasai, where we come from, we say the stomach is a very dangerous thing. It's a very dangerous thing. It has even finished the bones around it. It has eaten all the bones. So if you follow the stomach, it will take you to very dangerous places. Unfortunately, that right now, the leadership of ODM is being driven mostly by tumbocracy, something that we condemned for so long as ODM. The stakes have been raised so much that people have now gone crazy. And people who yesterday told us how William Ruto was not an option, today are shouting at the tops of their voices. They can't even speak like you and me, the way we speak. They have to shout because, it is so personal. And, the stomach is a very powerful thing. So when the driver of the conversation and the narrative is the stomach, it becomes, people don't reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the leadership of the party will, if they continue in the trajectory that they are on, they will take the party into this hole that it will never come out of. Because the people will bolt. The people will bolt. And the people will go wherever they feel they need to go.
And with all of this circus and fiasco, then where does the original idea of a development for the people, of convicting, essentially afflicting the comfortable and comforting the afflicted, that ODM as a movement stood for under the auspices of Raila Odinga, that would fight for the people, that keep the government in check, oversight the government, and not allow government excesses to be a thing of the day. It seems as though all of that is lost in all of this, that all the folks who are giving opinions saying that ODM will or will not survive, ODM can or cannot do this. What happens to those ideologies that seemed to have taken the day previously? They seem to be lost in all of this.
Well, it's not lost. You see what happens? They say power abhors a vacuum. And power is not just power in government. Power is actually with the people. The government they only get donated power. The power is with the people. So the power that the people have to do those things that you've talked about, to check government, to do all those things, that power is still there because it is with the people. ODM and Baba, when he was alive, were only channels. The people were channeling that power through them. And right now, the people will channel that power either directly by themselves, as they did in 2024, or they will find the right channel to where to harness that power. So the thing that encourages me, people have never lost. Whenever people have gone against, the power of the people has gone against the people in power, the people have never lost. The people have never lost. When it is a quest for their freedom, their liberty, their rights, their aspirations, the people have never lost. Even when they have gone up against the strongest, mightiest foes or odds. When the Americans were fighting against the British for their war of independence,
right,
the British government, the British Empire was the greatest superpower in the world. But a group of ragtag militia fought for 5 years and defeated the greatest empire where the sun never used to set. Okay? Mau Mau here had only machetes against the might of the British government, a government that had just won the Second World War against mighty Germany. But they won. Mau Mau won because they were fighting for their freedom and their aspirations. Whenever the people have come, the power of the people has come against the people in power, the people always win. And that is what you're seeing, by the way, in Kenya, you're seeing in Tanzania, you're seeing in most of Africa, a bit of Uganda. I don't know how that will go. But the people, the only time the people lose is when they quit, when they give up. But as long as people are fighting for their rights, they will never lose. It's not possible.
Raila Odinga, you look at what he embodied in terms of the people. He was big on the people. He was big on justice. He was big on governance. And that is what made ODM be what ODM is. Today, you look at how the party is, and one asks the question, are the people still front and center to how everything is being run? Because one would argue that once we got to government, tuko kwa serikali hadi mwisho, is it about the people or is it because of the positions? We are in broad-based until 2027 and beyond. Is it for the people? Is it about the people, or is it in terms of my personal ambitions? Has ODM lost that?
That's Dennis. You see, that question is a $1 million question, right? And it's a question that is a self-fulfilling and self-answering question, because if Baba himself did not have those credentials, himself, forget even these other parasites. Now we don't even know some of them, where they've come from. But if Raila Odinga himself had lost those credentials, he will have lost the people. The people are not subject to anybody. It is you first to do that which represents their aspirations. then they follow you. So there is no way that the people will follow people who are not carrying their aspirations. That will not work. I will take you slightly back, even further in history, because I love history, because it tends to open our eyes to many other things. And sometimes I think some of these people who are consumers of raw intelligence need to try a little bit and consume history. Because if you consume history, you will understand what is, even the future, and even why we are going through what we're going through. If you take us back, there are people who are saying, "Oh, we have to be in government. We have to be in government. Government." Our brothers, and these are my cousins, the Luo Nation, formed the first independent government in Kenya. The independence government in Kenya was formed by the Luo and the Kikuyu, almost to the exclusion of other communities. They have always been in government. In fact, they had almost 50% of the independence government in terms of the cabinet. They had the first vice president, a powerful one, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Now, there are people who are telling us government when they are only two, and they are not even real powerful people. They are told what to do. They can't even walk on the red carpet. They are pushed on off the red. These are people who are telling us to go to government. The Luo Nation has always been in government. When Jaramogi formed the first government with Jomo Kenyatta, he formed it on certain principles. When Kenyatta departed from those principles, Jaramogi walked out of that government that he formed. He walked out. So you have to let the principles and the ideals guide you. Jaramogi walked out of a government that he formed because the government had departed from his principles. If Jaramogi had died on the wrong side of history, as someone who had betrayed the people, Raila Odinga would not have been formed as Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga inherited what Jaramogi had. Going back even to your proverb, to your saying, Raila Odinga is a product of his father's conviction, because his father held true to his convictions. So when he died, Raila Odinga had a place to start from. And that is a powerful statement, and I'm sure everybody will have time to internalize it. So it is the principles and the ideals that are more important than anything else. This thing called government, today we form this one, tomorrow we say it's not. Even the one that we're going to form in the next government, because the people who are saying they have to be in government, they have to form government. Do you know William Ruto will not be in the next government in 2027? So if they want to form government, let them form the government that is going to be there, because there is no. Who told them that William Ruto will be in the next government? Who told them? He's in this government, fine. But who told them that William Ruto will be in the next government? It is the people of Kenya who will decide. It is the people of Kenya who will decide.
So then what we see that as these conversations are being had, that there's almost an ignorance or not even regard for what the people of Kenya, it's still Saitabao, a few number of people seem to decide the destiny of the rest of the country. And many would say, well, that's just politics. That's just the way it is. That very, very few times do we actually see the people's voice taking center stage. Is that the way it's supposed to be?
I think, it has been like that in the past, but it has changed. The people now understand their power. The people have never understood their power. But we are in a generation, and that is a mistake that the people in power are making now. They are dealing with the people as if these are the people that they have dealt with all these other years. The people now, and this seems to be a universal matter.
Yeah.
There is a certain awakening that has happened worldwide, that people have understood their place and their power. And they have also understood something, and especially Kenyans. Kenyans, for the first time, have understood how politics impacts their lives directly. And so they will not allow politicians with their chicanery and shenanigans to just take them, for a ride. They will not allow. If Raila Odinga had not stepped in to save William Ruto was gone. And it was the people. It was the people who told him to go. It is only Baba who came and became a savior, in the wrong at the wrong place, at the wrong time. And these people were people who are coming to advance the same principles that Baba has stood for all these years. So anyway, some of us, we of course have expressed our disapproval to even the positions that Baba in his last days took. Because the people are supreme, because the people can never be wrong. You know, when the people decide that this is the direction they want to take, it is their decision because it is their destiny. You cannot force them into a direction they don't want. You cannot force them. Yeah.
When we hear we will be in government until 2027, and you read that together with the final statement that was ostensibly the final statement, who told you that ODM, we are ODM, who told you that would not be in the ballot come 2027? Is it a question of individuals who are taking advantage of the fact that the money is not there? Is it individuals who are afraid of the people? Because many politicians, especially in ODM, held on the court of Baba for them to be relevant, pretty much. With the man not being there, are we seeing a shift that would happen, especially within ODM, that finally individuals must go back to the people, convince the people that they deserve to be elected into these positions? Because finally, there is no question that Baba amesema. It is us, the people, who will say. So that fear a reality?
It is a reality. It is a reality. The people who are holding on to Baba's courts or tail courts, coattails.
Yeah.
The people who are holding on to his coattails, you know, they are the parasites we are talking about. So now they have gone to hold on to someone else's coattails. You know, they cannot survive without holding into some coattail. They have to hold onto someone's coat. So they have never been about the people themselves. They have never. The party has been, because the party, I told you, the party was a movement before it became a party. So the party was driven by the people from the beginning, and Baba was a vehicle or the driver of that movement. So the people themselves, there is no confusion as to where the people want to be. The politicians who you see like the drivers now, they're being driven by other things. You know, the tumbocracy that we were talking about earlier. And those ones will go the direction that their interest takes them. But the people will not follow them.
Right. There's something that you said which is sensitive, and it might make people go a little bit wonky, but, you know, we're going to say it anyway, is that one of the things that you said is that the relevance index, or there was some dissatisfaction in the hearts of the people with Raila Odinga joining the broad-based government. And you said that he'd lost some mileage that he had made over the years. Is that still the case?
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you something, as someone who studied, you know, I took time to study Raila Odinga. You know, in fact, my book is a case study of Raila Odinga and William Ruto, because I took time to study both of them. I worked with both of them, by the way. One of the things that Raila Odinga valued more than anything else was his legacy. His legacy. And I will tell you, Baba went to the grave knowing that his legacy was tainted. He went knowing that his legacy was damaged. I know, beyond any equivocation or beyond any prevarication, I know beyond any shadow of a doubt that Baba was planning to rectify and to manage that damage, to do some damage control. He was hoping that he would have time to make that turn back to the people. Unfortunately, he didn't have the chance to do that. But I know that he knew. You know, even the sister told us that he was saying, "You young people, Baba died knowing that you hate him." I will tell you that is a very painful thing. When I heard that, I was very pained, because I also know how Baba loved the young people of this country and how they loved him. So for even Baba to know that his dalliance and association and unholy alliance with William Ruto has caused him so much, you know, has caused so much problems between him and the people, that was a very sad, you know, turn of events. But I know that Baba was planning to correct that, to correct that in the end. You know, I know he had a plan to do that, and we forgive him because he's our father. We forgive him, but his legacy will remain dented by that. It was the greatest blot to his legacy.
And with that dent that, because Raila the person was ODM and ODM was him. And with that dented legacy that you talk about, and where Kenyans, because if him as a person and his legacy was destroyed based off decision that he made in his final days, then one would say even where we sit today, then ODM has lost its legitimacy from the people, in the sense that the people do not trust that outfit anymore based off decisions that were made earlier. And with that in mind, what will it take for ODM to reclaim its position? Especially bearing in mind that even the party itself is not helping the situation because it is divided. Who will we listen to? Fine, we'll talk about it is the people who make the party, but the people who make the party as well need leadership, those who will guide them. And with a clearly divided party, do the people trust this outfit to lead them to Canaan that Baba never took them to?
I like your questions. I like you guys. You ask questions that have the answer inside. I like such questions. Those questions are very good. In fact, if you are an examiner, your students will always pass. But this is the thing, it's not all doom and gloom. Even in ODM and even in this country, I have a lot of hope that this country is actually just on the brink of a great future. It's right at the doorsteps of its potential as a country. These are birth pains of something new that is being born. What you're hearing, what you're seeing, the pain that people are going through, those are just birth pains of something glorious that is about to be birthed. Now, to answer your question, ODM, what gives me hope even in ODM is that there is still, there's always a remnant. We've talked about the parasites. Even in the leadership of ODM, there is a remnant that has not bowed to the pressure of the stomach. There is that remnant that remained true to the people. In this, I'm talking about the likes of Edwin Sifuna, the senator of Nairobi, the Secretary General of ODM. I'm talking about the likes of Babu Owino. I'm talking about even Winnie Odinga herself, because I have seen that even though she's walking a tightrope and it's a balancing act, I have seen where her heart is. I know these people very well. I know all of them. I have seen. I can tell even when they say something and I can see what they are not saying. So those people who have stood with the ideals of the party, the Edwin Sifunas, there's someone I would not want to leave. He's been very consistent. Caleb Amisi. The Caleb Amisis of this world. Caleb Amisi is not even a high-ranking member of the party. He's an MP. But because of the position he has taken, he has risen in the eyes of the people to a very high-ranking position in the party. That's what tells you that if a normal member of the party can be raised by the people to where right now, if Caleb Amisi goes to a function with one of the parasites, he will take charge of that function, because the people are with. Once you stand for what the people want, that's it. It's not rocket science.
Right.
So the hope of ODM remains in the few of these who have refused to follow the parasitic formula. The few who have stayed with the people, but they have to be more courageous. I've watched them; they are being overly cautious. Leadership is not about being cautious. Leadership is about being courageous. When you take a position, take it, and say it, and don't have this prevarication of today you're showing this. Just take a position and let it be.
Let it be.
Yeah, because the people don't like confusion. So let these guys take the position that because it is the popular and right position.
It's days to come. It's going to be interesting to see how it all is, but it was interesting to hear, from you. And of course, looking forward to where you put yourself coming into the future. We won't ask you now. We'll wait and see.
It's too early. It's early days.
Lawyer Saitabao Ole Kanchory has been with us this hour. Thank you for being here with us and for coming out of hiding.
Yeah, thank you, Ndu.
We'll see you next time when we do. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
that if, as we get into the time where you'll be planning, Christmas is coming, people are saying, okay, the year has come to an end, it's been good, it's been all right, it's been such and such, I want next year to be different, I want to be able to put my plans in place, I want to be able to follow through on my ideas, I don't want anything to hold me back. And you have people who've planned, there are people who've planned, they know what they're going to be doing in the next 10 years, they know every shilling or dollars and cents that's going to be applied to a particular project. They know what they're doing.
Even when they die.
Yeah. They've got it all pretty lined up. And there are people who say, my daughters, my sons will go to these schools and we've prepared in advance this is what they're going to do. This will yield this at this time. And then you're feeling, when I grow up. Well, let me tell you, it's okay because you can actually have it done. We'll end this with we'll talk about optimism, that you can actually have it done. You don't need to worry about this, that you don't need to say, okay, tomorrow I will. We're saying today you can decide that you will make that plan. And the great thing about ICA is that it says it will tailor-make according to what you're thinking that you want to do. So you're going to sit down with people and you say, okay, you know what? I want to be able to do 1, 2, 3 by the time 10 years is over. And they'll say, okay, how much do you have? Or what are the things that you can do? Let us put this together for you. Let's arrange it so that it can actually work. And you don't have to then worry about, okay, so then who will help me? ICA Lion are the folks who are going to help you keep all things in check. So what you need to do is say, what's your plan? What's your plan? And the folks at ICEA Lion will answer that question for you. So you need to go a trotting into icealion.co.ke, your plan into reality, because these good folks know how to do it. They've been doing it for a while now, and they can get you to that place where you'll be comfortable doing it. So what are you waiting for? Click in, log in, get your plan on today.
But even
Spice.
But even as you're planning, let me give you another plug.
All right.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel.
All
my
right.
name is Dennis Aseto. For you to be able to do that, if is because you need a data bundle that will enable you to do that. So we're talking about a data bundle that is unlimited and affordable. So for 1 hour, you spend 19 shillings. For 3 hours, you spend 45 shillings, unlimited data bundle that will enable you upload heavy files and even download heavy files, and your life is what? Nywe mambo telezi in an easy way. You know what I mean? Yeah, but this is Airtel that is coming here with its fun unlimited bundle. And how do you get it? *544#, or you go to your My Airtel app, or you visit your nearest Airtel shop and buy the SIM card to be able to purchase this data. Now, in life, there are many instances where it is fear of missing out. You want to be part of a conversation, you want to be part of a birthday celebration that you've not been able to attend because you are away, and you want to join it by streaming. You want to attend your daughter's graduation as a doctor in the US, you know. You don't want to miss out simply because data bundle will let you down. What is your story? Talk to us across our social media platforms, and we will pick that story on FOMO that happened to you, and we will give you 3,000 shillings worth of airtime courtesy of Airtel. And remember, join, subscribe, like, comment, and share
on socials.
And then Flavia will get to you.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
All right.
Spice.
So we know that you're going to be looking for something extra to eat this Christmas season.
Tell him.
Or you're looking for something that you want to gift somebody this Christmas season. Why not take advantage of the fantastic offers at a Naivas near you this season? So Naivas Kikwetu is lengthening this festive season, where you get to enjoy the massive discounts that are happening. So you need to drop everything that you're doing, and it's a final call from Naivas. It's the biggest savings event of the year. It was Black November, but we're stretching this well into December, and we're saying the time is now, that you can save up to 60% off across every single category: electronics, fresh food, kitchenware, daily essentials, and more. We're talking about massive, unbeatable prices. So we're giving you everything from iron boxes to toasters to blenders and heaters every week. And there's a big one: 45 motorcycles and 6 brand new cars, plus TVs, fridges, cookers, and much, much more. As in, what are you waiting for? If not that the show has not finished, even me, I'd be nervous by now. But it's so simple. Register for your loyalty card, do your shopping, and if you win, the winning will be printed on your receipt the moment you pay. So this festive season, take advantage of Lipa Pole Pole and at the convenient buy now, pay later option. You can also use Faraja on M-Pesa for 0 interest installments. So you can shop more and pay less. And that's just the Naivas way. Now, before I go, this one thing about this guy. You know this guy?
That's what I was waiting for.
He bleats for a living. The icon is returning. Get ready, because the one, the only, the Naivas Kikwetu legendary Mbuzi is also coming. You want to know how you can get a bite out of that? You need to join CEO on the Spice Drive this evening and every other evening to find out how you can tap into that.
Don't ask me for Mbuzi. Now you know where to go.
There you
Get your
go.
own
Naivas saves you money.
Spice.